I've been out late night creeping, shot slide on bitches. Posted up with the militia, niggas ain't switching. Mind on missions, mind on pussy and millions, mind on pussy and millions. I'm tryna call a sex symbol to eat my kids up. They say more money, more problems. Bring on the problems, bring on the problems, bring on the motherfucking problems. They say more money, more problems. Bring on the problems, bring on the problems, bring on the motherfucking problems. Hey. Braid it up in my suizo. Hit them, then I get amnesia. Life ain't getting any easier. Flacosita. I know that I'm not in love. She don't love me either. It's just hard to find a love that she keep on getting deeper. Who said it's cheaper to keep her? I'd rather release her body and give her away like a feature. You know the procedure. Niggas is pretty in the guy, so we stay with the sweeper. I'm rapping for well in my 20s, so treacherous. Introduce y'all to the leader.
Come to me without a smoke. I like the money for sure, but I love the hustle the most. She pretty, she sharp for toes, and my panties they came with a pole. No, this money ring,
Welcome to the Young Content Show.
I've been out late night creeping, shot slide on bitches. Posted up with the militia, niggas ain't switching. Mind on missions, mind on pussy and millions, mind on pussy and millions. I'm tryna call a sex symbol to eat my kids up. They say more money, more problems. Bring on the problems, bring on the problems, bring on the motherfucking problems. They say more money, more problems. Bring on the problems, bring on the problems, bring on the motherfucking problems. Hey. Braid it up in my suizo. Hit them, then I get amnesia. Life ain't getting any easier. Flacosita. I know that I'm not in love. She don't love me either. It's just hard to find a love that she keep on getting deeper. Who said it's cheaper to keep her? I'd rather release her body and give her away like a feature. You know the procedure. Niggas is pretty in the guy, so we stay with the sweeper. I'm rapping for well in my 20s, so treacherous. Introduce y'all to the leader.
come to me without a smoke. I like the money for sure. But
all right, we're going in. We're going in. Peace, beloved, peace. It's your homie, YC. The unofficial Sensei of the culture, mastering youthfulness, contentment. I used to say not NFTs, but they might be coming back. You know, all around Web3. You just step back into the dojo. I haven't been in the dojo. I think I've been experimenting, but you're in the dojo right now. Cue the fucking sound. You guys know the sound. If it's gonna play, there it goes. Hiya! Your favorite sensei. I know you're seeing my waterbed right here, and it's a little messy. I'm playing tennis now. Shout out to all the tennis players. You feel me? I got a crazy backhand. I play that all the time. But we chilling. Let me see if chat is working. We have a special guest here now. Let me see. Here now. Here. Chat is working. Chat is live. So interact. We have episode 134, Upon Thy Soul. We're gonna be talking to Milton, Investor Milton. Me and this guy go back before he popped the F off. Literal crypto genius, if you ask me. From rags to riches story. We're also gonna be talking about some topics around Web3. We're gonna be talking about your mom. You know, the whole drill. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Shout out to Matt L. Shout out to Feistelium. Tell grandma we're live. Because, you know, it's top tier.
Top 10 that I lost with a guy. You already know the vibe. Come on, we outside.
Beloved, we outside. What's up, Investor Milton? In the building. What's going on, boss?
What's up, my boy? How are you?
Oh, I am well. It feels good to be back in the dojo, bro. I've been experimenting for so long. It's good to get back to roots and talk to people in the beginning of my journey, like yourself.
Man, it's good to be on here, man. It's good to see you. It's good to keep up with your work, man. I'm so happy to be on.
Dude, for those that don't know who you, give them the spiel. Who is Milton? Who is Investor Milton? Give them the spiel. You could take 30 seconds to do that.
All right. So basically who I am, I'm basically nobody, man. I just come from humble beginnings, and basically I started off homeless in the street in January 2017. I ended up getting a place to live Within 24 hours, I had a place to live. I had, after a month of being homeless out there, I had a place to live. I ended up getting a job as a waiter at Taverna Buckhead. I ended up going home. On my way home, I saw my first Bitcoin ATM, and that changed my whole life. I walked in there, I put $20 in. I understood, the technology, the impact it was going to have, the problems that it was solving, and it just made sense. And the next day, after falling down the rabbit hole and understanding, that $17 of Bitcoin that I ended up getting from that 20, ended up being worth $21. So for me, I ended up being like, okay, if I worked up 2 weeks, I would have made $2,000. I would have invested that in. I would have made 400 in my sleep. So I automatically knew that I was on to something early on, and I was going to make a lot of money. So I ended up working regular jobs as a waiter and a construction worker, and I worked double shifts 7 days a week for 11 months straight. And it was during the best time, to do so. And
Before you go
I
more
did very well.
before you go more into it, I met this guy on an app called Rise, and this was before I even knew cryptocurrency was a thing. This was in 2016, 2017. You came on Rise application, and Rise, for context, was a live stream, kind of like what TikTok is now, but more interactive, four-way. You had like 4 different ways to talk to people. And you came on there, and you were just so passionate, bro. Did you know about cryptocurrency at that time when we were using that app?
Yeah, so that's when I basically had left and moved to Denver, from Georgia after I already just made my money. I left I left both jobs, and I was like, you know what? I'm about to go to California. So I went to California. And then after that, I ended up in Denver for a conference. And that's when I stayed. And that's when I first heard about the Rise app from Prop. And then I went on Rise, and then I met you, I met Denny, I met so many people on the Rise
You
app.
remember
And I was
Will
still living
Richards?
in Yeah, oh, I love Will, man. Will, shout out to Will,
You
man.
remember
He's my bro. I
Guillermo?
just talked to him. I just talked to him yesterday.
Holy smokes!
Yeah, so I still stay
So
connected.
this
We
was
all stay
before
connected. Guillermo?
this
You
was
say
bef-
Guillermo?
this was this before the millions had popped off for you?
Nah, this was during the same time. I already had the millions.
Wow.
It's just that I was just like learning, and I was trying to just like, because I wasn't spending any money. Like for the first 3 years or 2 years, I didn't spend much of the money like in big purchases. Like I was spending it on travel, I was spending it on things I needed, but I was traveling light. I was traveling light, like so if so anything that fit in my luggage or my book bag, and I would just travel all through the United States. But yeah, man, during that time, that's where we met on Rise. That's how I ended up meeting Denny. I ended up moving in with him. So Rise platform actually created these friendships that are pretty cool.
Wow, I gotta give I gotta give that
Okay,
Drake
okay.
sound effect.
Okay.
Okay, for sure. That is lit. That's fire, bro. I mean, I haven't talked to Denny in a minute, man, but I remember him telling me about ICOs during that time, and I went crazy. He told me about my first ICO, Plex Coin, and it was a straight rug pull, and I lost like $1,000 on that rug. And this was my infancy of ICO YC. Did you play with the ICO stuff too? I mean, I know you playing.
Oh yeah, so when I was during the ICO stages, we was early on, right? So you
Yeah.
had to be a accredited investor to invest in an ICO after the summer of 2000 and July of 2017. So a lot of people couldn't participate in ICOs unless we used VPNs or we went through other means, to do so, like OTC and stuff like this. So or DEXs. A lot
Yeah,
of people were
Ether
getting in
Delta.
off DEXs. Yeah, exactly. Ether
Yeah.
Delta, see OG status. So people even forget about Ether Delta, and what's it called?
This was before Bittrex.
During those
KYC'd
times,
you
yeah.
too.
Yep, exactly. And it was a crazy time period where even KuCoin wasn't even KYCing you, all these different changes, but everything changed, But during the ICOs, that's what made me all my money. A lot of it, a lot of it were in ICOs. I was part of the year-long EOS ICO.
Oh my god.
That was great. It was under $1 for a whole year. It was like 70 cents for a whole year, and then it went up to like $22 at its peak, I think. And then like other ICOs, I was in the crypto.com ICO. It was Monaco.
Did you
It
F with
wasn't even called.
BitConnect?
No, I didn't. I didn't get involved in that. Like, I just always got involved in things that made sense to me, like, and a lot of my investments were what was just early on after ICOs, because you remember, like, a lot of the time after an ICO drops, like it goes public on exchanges, a lot of the times it dipped,
Yeah.
right? So like, because everyone was selling. So a lot of the times I would get involved after those dips. So I wouldn't even have to get into those ICOs. So that was like a loophole.
Damn, I really appreciate you being on this podcast, bro, because not a lot of people have that energy with me. And I feel like I've dropped the ball in a lot of different ways to make money just because greed or holding too long. So, you're kind of the antithesis of, I think what most people are trying to get to, take profits, don't be greedy. Like, can you speak on that? Like, what made you that way?
Man. So like a lot of the time, like, yeah, I did make mistakes myself. Like I did do greedy stuff. Like that's why at the beginning I didn't spend that much money, because I was like, oh no, I didn't sell at the top, like in 2017. And so then I was hodling. So I'm like, I'm a hodl. And so then like I was really like budgeting and trying to make new money. And so like and then afterwards, so I learned from that lesson. The next bull run, I end up, buying a few things, but I didn't go crazy because I was being greedy. I was not even being greedy for me. Like honestly, like for me, the money that I made or whatnot, like it's more for like the people, like that was my mentality then. Like I'm like, yo, that's not for me, like this is for everyone. Like this is for, causes that I want to help and help people and all this stuff. Because for me, I didn't have much growing up or anything, and I was like, yo, it doesn't cost much to have the basics and like to really like live comfortable.
Yo, I want to
and,
tell
like,
Stream this one time. I'm gonna tell Stream this. Listen up, Stream, okay? You got two Latino brothers here that will probably never join the cartel, that will probably give their money away. Not everything is cartel based, you feel me? Not everything is just about the greed. You literally have brown people trying to fucking change the world. Don't forget that shit. Don't fall for the side.
Definitely. And that's when, like, I made some mistakes in that sense too, because I shouldn't have just held on to that bread, because at that point I had learned, because I'm going through a bad divorce. Like my ex-wife, you got
shacked up? You getting shacked up out there, bro, to a Bitcoin baddie?
I was married over there in Germany for 2 years, and it was great. It was great and everything, but it's complicated. And then things went south, and she ended up stealing a bunch of my money. So then I was like, dang, now I should have spent that money on the things that could help other people, while it was, readily available. But then afterwards, she messed everything up financially. And so then, what's it called? I couldn't do nothing with that money for a while. And then I got the money back. And then I started being on some stuff. Okay, I'm going to invest my money. I'm going to put my money into things. I'm going to do things. And then I just couldn't find the right team, the right people, and all this stuff. And so like, and then I was just going and learning still. So I made a bunch of mistakes with greed and all that stuff. But I got all the way up to a certain amount that I never thought that I would get up to. And then I in the last bear market, right? I sold,
which was
some,
a tough
but
one.
I didn't
It was
sell
a tough
much,
bear.
right? It was a tough bear market. And then I end up selling a portion of it. I kept some in there, and then it went down from my peak. Let's just say hypothetically,
Did you go from 20,000 to fucking $8,000?
So yeah, exactly. Like let's say like that. It went from, let's say, 60,000 to like $8,000, right? So then, what's it called? This time around, I am doing something different, right? this time I'm about to like basically spend most of my money. I'm gonna spend most of my money on a bunch of different things that I need to spend money on, to help, certain causes and stuff, What you can do is basically learn from all the other people's mistakes, including myself, is take profit. That's something I learned on the second bull run. I took profit. I bought house, land, I bought cars. I end up, making sure that I was good, like everybody that I love was good, And then afterwards, just still stick to your investment strategy, stick to it.
Does money change you, bro? Does money amplify who you are? What you think? Does it change you in a sense?
It amplifies who you are, Like I'm the same person as I was before. I always have been. Like when you met me or whatnot, I was already a multi-millionaire at that time. And like, everything was just regular, like people just see me walking through the street and stuff. They don't expect nothing. Like, they don't expect, oh yeah, this guy got a bunch of bread, except for when I had my cars and stuff, in Germany, and I was just going over there, living my best life.
Did you experiment with Bitcoin City in El Salvador? I think I seen you over there. You were always at a conference or something.
Yeah, I was part of the second envoy that went over there VIPs to help with Bitcoin City and the volcano bonds, which are basically Bitcoin bonds, but they call it volcano bonds. And
what was it like over there?
Oh man, it is changing. The country's changing. It's so beautiful just to see what the president over there is doing, right? Like just to see how things are changing so dramatically in such a positive way, and people are actually feeling, the impact of his policies, and his actions. I don't agree with everything that he's doing over there, but like at the end of the day, things are doing well over there. He's smart, he's young, he's listening to professionals, he's attracting a lot of investment into El Salvador. And I see it being, something that is historic, and I fully support, people looking into really taking El Salvador as, seriously when it comes to maybe an opportunity to invest, an opportunity to come in and help build the nation up, bring their businesses there, bring their, their ideas, they have so many programs out there to really help young entrepreneurs. And I think that they're doing things in a way that's going to benefit a lot of other countries around the world. We're seeing something that's the first time ever being done. It's legal tender down there. You see other countries following suit, like Zimbabwe. You see Zimbabwe made Bitcoin legal tender. You see Lugano in Switzerland making it legal tender. So like we're going to see a lot of other countries, making Bitcoin legal tender. You see the United States is already saying that Bitcoin is a digital commodity, it's digital gold. So like, this is the direction, that Bitcoin is going to be moving around the world.
When I say these two words next to you, what do you think? Fed now.
For me, I think, the thing that we've been talking about forever. Like, I remember back in the day in high school, middle school, man, I learned about the RFID microchip, right? So the RFID microchip. So like, what were we all scared of, right? Like, I know I was scared. Like, I was scared of, that microchip being the mark of the beast, and, being over here like, oh, they can control our money, they can control our information, they can control, this, they can freeze your accounts, they can, like make your money expire after some time, and they can control where you go and all this stuff. And now I see Fed now, and I see like all these different, technologies of today, making it so that you don't really need an RFID microchip. And
yeah, you just need a wallet that has a microchip. And I think FedNow is a program ran by Bill Gates, if I'm assuming, if I see that right.
Well, I know FedNow is by the Federal Reserve, right? So that's the big headline, right? Like, even though like maybe Bill Gates might be involved, I don't know, but I know for a fact that the Federal Reserve is behind this. And just the fact that Just think of it this way. What benefits them? How does it benefit them for all of us to adopt this digital ecosystem that they created, right? It benefits them in many different ways. One is they get to lay off so many employees because they no longer need anyone to create dollars. They save a lot on materials.
Talk your
They
shit. I
don't
want to
need
hear all this. I
create
want to hear that
dollars.
investor Milton mind. Keep going.
They get to save so much money. How much money in security, logistics, in losses? Like they save so much money. And then now they got a lean business. They let way less employees, so now you can trust them, you can surveillance them, you can basically be more efficient. And instead of people being and doing transactions and everything, with cash, where they're not getting these, like where the Federal Reserve is not getting their fee, now digitally they will. Now, they can control our money. Now they can create, programmable money that basically they can tell us, hey, if you don't spend this money
Within
by
the
this
hour.
time
Yeah.
period, then it's going to expire. Like, oh, now they can tell you, wait, like you are obese. Maybe you shouldn't be allowed to like purchase that extra tub of ice cream.
Mm,
Like,
crazy.
oh, you won't be able to access certain areas. That's where it's gonna go next.
I heard Jamie Dimon.
Because
I heard I heard the financial cartel along with Jamie Dimon. Like you said, programmable. They're going to literally just shit money out of their asshole, and they're going to constantly. If you thought watch training was bad, let Jamie Dimon and all the banks he's buying up, just have access to printing currency out of the ether.
yeah, but that's gonna be very difficult in the near future because all the governments and all the institutions and banks around the world are having these discussions, and a lot of people are talking about best practices. And like one of the things that everyone agrees on around the world is no one should be able to print or create as much money, infinite money anymore. So like this is something that is gonna be old way. Now the new way is that they're going to know exact amounts. They're going to know exactly how much money is out there. They will be able to create more money, but people will be able to see now. Like who is creating this money, why this money was created, where is it going? There's going to be different watchdog groups and a lot of different cybersecurity people, hackers, and stuff like and people like this are all going to be whistleblowing.
You
There's
think
so many
you
white.
think that the feds when we look at the feds blockchain records, do you think that they can kind of like make it murky and hide some of their records? And because if they're doing all this illegal stuff with Tender now, like how do you get away with it on the blockchain?
See, but that's the thing, like, yeah, how, is it gonna be on the blockchain? What data is gonna be on the blockchain? Like, that's the thing. Like, do we even know that they're going to be using a blockchain like that? Like, that's not something that, is gonna be, like, we're not gonna have that type of transparency. Like, I think we're definitely moving towards a digital version of the IOUs, that we have with the US dollar. So like basically what they're gonna do is they're gonna get everybody to give up custody of their Bitcoin and basically for safety, security, for good interest on their Bitcoin for the banks, and they're gonna compete for people to come in and just give up custody of their Bitcoin. And then later on, once they have a certain amount of Bitcoin in their reserves and they're confident enough, they're gonna back their US
That sounds like
dollar
a
with
fucking
it.
psyop. That sounds so bad. That sounds so horrible,
It's
bro. Why don't I just rather OTC keep it on my ledger, bro?
hmm But that's the thing. It's a whole psychological operation where they're basically tricking the public to give up custody of their Bitcoin, just like they did with gold. What they do with gold, they're like, oh, yeah, you will keep your gold safe in this vault. Here, take this IOU, which we call the dollar, like we're gonna just like keep the gold, and you could redeem that gold with that dollar. But they kept printing dollars out, and then the value of the dollar went down, and you can't even redeem gold behind it anymore. They're gonna do the same thing with Bitcoin. They're gonna create these digital IOUs that represent your Bitcoin, and you can redeem your Bitcoin when you trade these things in, but all the businesses are gonna be accepting this new thing that's backed by Bitcoin, which is gonna be the digital dollar later on.
Wow.
The if
So it would be
like
kind
a
of like an
business
NFT in a
later.
sense that they give you for like.
Basically, it's like an NFT backed by your Bitcoin reserves. But that's
Yo, you
later
guys
on.
heard it
There's a
first
lot.
on the podcast, live with the Sensei 134, Milton himself. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say it that way. Actually, you tapped in
Mm,
to Web3 when you say it like that. Yeah, I got to get to some of these
mm,
chats real quick, and then we'll go in. He said that phone we walking around with might as well be a microchip. Someone said
yeah,
U.S. is screwed if they can keep printing money. Iron says only they can see it, walled green, and you're on the outside. Sounds like a Azuki kind of shit. Gold in 1933. Dot. LOL.
like, and this happens always. They always take the value, right? Like in Egypt, what did they do? They took all the grain and stuff like this, and they freaking banked it up, and then they gave people IOUs for their stuff, and they was out there trading and all this stuff. Like back in the day with gold, they did it over and over again with all precious metals. Like, and they're doing it now with Bitcoin.
Do you
Like they're
need
trying to get everybody's
do you
attention
need
away from Bitcoin.
do you need mental slaves? Like, do you need people to be slaves and sheep to do this? Because I don't feel like I'm that. I don't feel like I'm a slave. I don't feel like I'm a sheep. I don't feel like I'm an NPC. You have to have a certain level of NPCs to even take an IOU and give up your Bitcoin to a bank. It's so stupid.
But a lot of people use, exchanges, right? So it's like, what if the exchange just comes out of nowhere because they just have in the past and they freeze your account? And then they say, oh no, like you cannot withdraw your money. We won't be able to give you your Bitcoin, but we'll give you these tokens that represent your Bitcoin, and you can use that.
Yo, I'm clipping this I'm
Like,
clipping this whole thing and putting it online. That's a separate like 10-minute short for real. This whole Fed now thing you're telling, because that's wild, bro.
yeah, like it's something that's like real, like it's something that we have been talking about for so long. This is the response to Bitcoin. Like we have been at war in Web3 since when? So like actively like 2016. Like from what I've seen, I've only been involved since 2017, so I don't know how things were before, but I've heard stories. But like that's when they really started taking Bitcoin more serious with the ICOs and everything. And that's when they started like trying to get retail investors out of cryptocurrencies in the United States. Then they regulated to the point where it's really hard for people to get involved in ICOs or alts here in the United States. So it's like that was their whole goal is to
Damn.
stop
Yes.
people having access
Put a lid.
to, yeah, exactly, and making it punishable, scary. They want to make it so that people do not get involved. Like that's the whole point.
Yo,
Like,
where's Andreas Antonopoulos when you need him, dog?
right? Like he's doing his thing. Like, like he's educating, he's doing his thing. I just seen an interview lately that he did. Um, he's doing it. He's just one guy. We need like 1,000 more, and we're all out there.
I feel like I think you on the front lines, Milton. I feel like you really him when it comes to.
Mm, mm.
Is that what are some of your goals in this fight? I mean, you've been to El Salvador. You're self-made. Like, what's some of
Right
your?
now,
But
right now,
before
I'm
we go
just
into that, I got to show people, who is, Let me share my screen. What the fuck is it? I hate sharing my screen. Hold on. You guys don't know who Andreas Antonopoulos is. I say his name all the time, but this is an educator, a anarcho-capitalist, you could say, a good human. I feel like a great human to learn from, best practices, and how to self-custody yourself. Like, I just had to give him a shout out. We're back.
He is amazing, man. Like everybody should go follow him, look him up, go get his book. You know, he has a couple books.
The internet of
Um,
money.
he's a beast. He is definitely a blessing to the
We're
space.
going a little
You
over
know?
time, but I have to say, what is your plans, dog? What is your roadmap now, knowing that you know?
So right now, so basically right now I'm building up basically my project Hyperlens, Hyperlens.io. Basically just focusing on creators, creating community, focusing on basically building out the company more, and just getting into Web 2. We're currently just focusing on Web 2 with Web 3 features and just just focusing on building a good team for another company that I'm building up and have a few objectives that I have to really get done. Looking to move too this year, so I don't know where I'm gonna end up.
Where would you go, knowing that you know?
So right now, like
Don't even say
the
where you go. I don't even want you
safest.
to announce it. Just go. You know what I mean? You don't gotta always publicize where you're going. You know, just go and don't even say where you're going. Like for real,
Oh
I
yeah,
have to say that. I know it's
for
gonna be an
real.
amazing spot though, wherever you land.
Oh yeah, man, this earth is beautiful, bro. Everywhere that we go is just beautiful, you know? Like I love this place.
So HyperLens, do you think that I got another question real quick. You know, you got the Apple Vision Pro coming out, and I really think it's going to integrate a lot of socializing with NFTs with Apple's new headset coming out in 2024. How can HyperLens integrate a software into that? Like, do you really think Apple Vision Pro takes the cake?
So basically, like we are using Vision IO, we're like a plugin with Unity, and so we're gonna be, building on, application that our application on for those goggles. So, they're gonna be good and everything. I think it's gonna take some time for people to really like want to buy them and really like use them a lot. I don't see them having much real use like like something that is like attracting people to come and get it, like from all the walks of life, and to really like come in and be like, oh yeah, this is the use case, this is the killer app for this, that's gonna just like make everybody want to buy these. I feel like Hyperlens is that. Because we just basically created social AR,
Yeah.
like in a different way. So that's uh that's that.
Sorry about that. Rude manners. How rude of me. That was APO. Alpha plays only. APO. Let me play it again. I gotta play that song again. Dude, this has been real. We're gonna go right now to final thoughts. You're gonna take us out of here. Hit a home run. We're on final thoughts now. This is where you say your final thoughts, and we close the show.
So the most valuable thing that I can tell everybody watching is like you can only believe in the things that you don't know. When you know something, you know something. There's no unknowing it. But when you believe something, that belief can change. So don't build your life on top of belief or not knowing. Not knowing. Like build it on top of a foundation of knowing, and the only way that you'll know it through experience. So go out there and live your life.
Mm.
Go out there and just do the things that other people are not interested in doing or don't want to do. Just go walk the same path as someone else because you might see something or experience something that that person didn't. And, like reading books and everything is cool, learning from other people's experiences is cool, but you're just believing them. And that means you don't really know shit. So go out there and like really experience so you get to know things.
Wow. Damn, dude, you literally when you were saying that, I saw like a wizard or some shit, like really wise words. You had that's some gray hair wisdom you just said there. I know so many people that
That's all
believe
thanks
that
to
don't know.
God, man. That's all thanks to the universe. It's all thanks to God, man. Because it's like there's a difference when you believe in God or the universe or whatever, and then there's a difference between knowing, you know. Once you know something, ain't no going back. It changes you completely.
Yeah, I hope that when I'm partying on a yacht with the dojo, you're there, dog, for real.
Oh, definitely, man. We gotta go out there and buy and just hop on some yachts.
For sure. I wanna do I don't want to be a pretentious dick, but I definitely want to get that yacht, one yacht or two, and just be done with it. Because I don't really give a fuck about yachts. I just want to do one time and get
Just
out.
to enjoy it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just to enjoy it, you know, like it's an experience. Like, you know, like we work hard and you know, there's some experiences that come, you know.
For sure. Guys, thank you for watching episode 134 with Investor Milton. Bro, I suck at saying your last name, bro. Say your, because what do you go by? What do people call you?
Milton Guarderas.
What's your nationality again? I forget. You're Salvi, right?
Nah, I'm Colombian Ecuadorian, but I'm born in the US.
Bruh.
Yeah.
And he from New Jersey too. Yo,
Mhm.
Iron, Janix, Swim Mob, Matt L, Hit Money, Felicium, all you gang, all the gang. It's feel good to be back on the show. Feel good to be back on YC's channel. Thank you, beloveds, for watching. Take care of yourself. Be well. You know, you guys are top tier. Don't fall for the psyop. That's all I'll say. Don't fall for the psyop. We out of here. Peace.
It's a scam, it's a psyop.